Ladies and gentlemen, this is the main event of the evening. Introducing at this time a young man who has been the heavyweight full contact jiu-jitsu world champion 4 different times. He has been the Sambo champion of Russia 2 times, and he is the UFC VI champion. Weighing in at 205 pounds, standing at 6 feet even. Introducing the Russian Bear, Oleg Taktarov.
Oleg Taktarov was an amazing fighter that came from Russia. He was a Sambo fighter. And he shocked the world when he started fighting the UFC, because he was one of the first heavyweights to actually know grappling. So he started beating everybody. You know, he had unbelievable fights. One of them against Tank Abbott was a battle that he actually need a oxygen mask after the fight. And the good thing was that was the first time that America actually saw a heavyweight being able to grapple, being able to apply finishing holds, guillotines, leg locks, and he was a very, very big name on the sport back then. You know, he was the UFC champion, the UFC heavyweight champion. When they offered me to fight him, I just couldn't say no. You know, it was such a challenge, and even though back then I weighed 170 pounds, 172 pounds. And this was right after I won the World Combat Championship, like three fights in one night. All of them were like over 200 pounds. And I was 168 pounds. So I embraced that idea to fight the reality super fight, and especially because it was against him, because I saw him like mauling people, like beating people in a very easy way in the UFC, you know. So we set up to fight in Birmingham, Alabama, and I went there to the promotion and the pictures, and through the whole time he was acting like would be a walk in the park, you know, like he looked at me and I was half of his size, you know, and he looked at me like, this is gonna be easy.
All right, gentlemen, set us up quickly. What are we going to see right off the bat, Ron?
Well, we are going to see the Russian Bear go to work. He can punch, he can kick, and he can grapple.
Like, I think I fight even better when people doubt what I can do, you know. And with him it wasn't different. Like the moment that we start, like I felt the difference of weight because I tried to hit him a couple of times, and I felt him fast. And I noticed that he want to keep the fight standing, you know. But at the same time, for the fact that he was a good Sambo fighter, I knew he would accept to go to the ground if the fight comes down to that, you know. So I started kicking and I tried to force the fight. And one of the kicks that I threw, he grabbed my leg and I went down, accepting him to come on my guard. And the biggest mistake he could ever have done was try to reach for my ankles, you know. I cocked my legs back a little, like I pulled back, and he tried to reach, and I just fired that heel up, the connector right to his jaw. And as I hit it, I knew he was out because he assumed like a very stiff instance, and he fell like a tree when it's cut down, you know. And the moment that he fell, I stood up and delivered a nice punch on his face, you know. It gave him 9 stitches across the face and gave me a broken hand that hurt for like 6 months. What a tough head that fellow had. And then the ref just jumped right in, and we are celebrating, and I'm with my friends. The ref calls me back to raise my hand, and I go to shake his hand. He goes, "Why are you celebrating? The fight's not over. Let's go." And I remember the first thing I thought when he said that was to hit him. You know, and I went to the promoter to tell them to put the fight again because I could knock him out again. But then my uncle said, "No way. If they want to see you fighting again, they got to pay you again. You're a professional now."
And Gracie sends him goodbye. Taktarov
how can Taktarov dispute this? The man was out.
He was out.
He was
on
out
his feet.
cold, yes. And Taktarov giving the instructions by the referee.
I can tell you what, looking at Renzo now, I think he'd like that fight to continue.
Well, he gets out unscathed and he collects the winner's check. It's a big payday for Renzo. And they are waiting to raise his hand. Let's go to the ring. Here's Chuck Hall.
Ladies and gentlemen, the referee has stopped the contest. The winner is Renzo Gracie.
And the funny thing, like they closed the stadium, everything was dark, and I'm outside doing an interview for the television, for the pay-per-view, and now I could hear Taktarov right behind me, gesticulating and telling me, "Why come in here? The fight's not over. Let's fight. Get right back here." And right next to him, his manager going, "Oleg, you were out. He knocked you out. Impossible. Nobody ever knocked me out." But then later, he's such a nice guy. Later, he saw the tape and he realized that he was flat out and the fight had to be stopped. You know, and it was one more mark on my belt, right there. You know.